baby.
Ghost, I want to ask you a question. I think this is going to offend you a little bit. Because Esso and I spoke about this over the phone with back to the Shannon Sharpe situation based on the magnitude of this interview and his trajectory. Is he going to be the next Joe Rogan? Don't you see? All right, I cut you off. Go for it.
He's too polished. He's not gonna take the risk that Joe Rogan's took. He's not gonna do it. Would Shannon Sharpe do an interview with Kanye?
Why not?
I don't think so.
Look at he's done a lot of interviews with people you never would have thought of and
But
revitalized their career.
It's a certain thing of what his brand is. Like he's not gonna go in that direction. Like the internet likes crazy shit, and Joe Rogan sometimes dips his toe. Like he's saying Cat Williams comes through. Like he talked about Joe Rogan.
The fact that
that might be Cat Williams' next shit.
The fact that he let Cat Williams go hammer on everybody he sat down with. He has relationships with all those people that Cat Williams put the hammer down on, and he put
but none of those
our assumption he put it out in full. You never know, things get cut out. Let me be fair, but. For a 2-hour interview, he let a lot of shit fly, knowing he could have chopped some of that shit out. So I don't see him having an issue sitting down with Kanye West from my perspective.
To be honest, he was saying a lot of shit, but I thought it was light. I didn't even think it was.
But you're a radical person, though.
He was speaking his truth. He wasn't really saying nothing down. He wasn't downing people in a way. He was clowning them, but he wasn't like. It wasn't nothing that like.
Let's expand this. Esso said something very, very key and important with what Shannon Sharpe did and with what Cameron's doing currently right now. And you mentioned it, how Bert and Joe Rogan spoke of it. They're making black media podcasters or media entities looked at a higher level and capacity than just the nigga shit right now.
But we were at that level. There's
barriers.
They've been seeing that, but we just looking at it like, oh, okay, now. But I've been seeing it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they're busting down barriers, though. Mm-hmm. I think Joe Buttons did it in a certain way.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think Cameron came out of nowhere with how he did it. And went to sports lane, and the fact that he had original sports background, which is great, right?
And Cam told me he was gonna do it. When me and Queens Flip went to Cameron's house, he said
that was a lot of years ago.
He didn't want to do a podcast. He didn't want to even do Queens Flip's podcast. He said, "I want to do my own shit." I seen Nori what he doing. He looked at what Nori and he said, "Yo, I'm gonna figure it out."
I'm gonna tell you some real shit. The first guest I ever wanted on Bagfuel was Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
Before anybody even knew. I'm talking about before we met you, when we had our original launch. My man Craze fucks with Cam and them, and Craze was supposed to get Cameron, and everybody was looking at me like, not everybody, them, everybody else was like, why the hell do you want Cameron? I said, because Cameron could talk. Bitches like Cameron. Mm-hmm. They pay attention to him. And I said, yo, a conversation with somebody like that's knowledgeable and knows hood shit too, that shit will go to a whole nother level on some real shit that Cameron was supposed to be.
But Cam already knew he was going to do it, because I remember Queens Flip was asking him to do this podcast. He was like, I don't want to do it right now. And then he ended up doing Queens Flip podcast, but he said, Nori been wanting me to do it, but he was asking Nori to pay him.
Let me ask you a question, since you know about stuff like that. This ain't all camera people. This is off the grid. What you think about the thing going on with Queens Flip and Cameron pertaining to what's the girl that's on Joe Biden?
No, we spoke to Flip. They squashed that.
Yeah. Oh, they squashed
it. Yeah, they squashed that. But to go back, I think Shannon Sharpe's trajectory can go towards the Joe Rogan realm. It's set up that
it's a different realm. I think Shannon has the potential to go bigger.
Whoa. I didn't even look.
I'm just looking at them as like they're just adding on to what's already a tremendous lane. That if you seize it, and they're making people like us, they're making the space more valuable. That's the word I'm looking for. What they're doing is they're making the space more valuable. And what I like about what Cam is doing and how he presented it in his marketing, this is not a podcast. This is a show.
Yup.
Because I always was telling people that it all depends on how you go about your shit. Because I always would say, yo, Heineken, I don't like calling. I'm not a podcaster.
I hate that word.
I'm not even a YouTuber. I would be like, we have a show. Why? Because we do different things. We can talk with each other. We can bring guests on. We have a real cameraman. We don't have to have a staff because the one person that we got does what these 3 or 4 people do.
16, I seen.
16, all right.
The most.
So with this one guy, we have a staff. We got our own studio when we need to have our own studio. We rent out. We go on location and shoot too. So I always looked at it as a show. But if people keep saying podcast,
it's bracketing.
YouTube, you're
put it in a hole.
Yes. They're putting it in a box where it doesn't have to be.
But I think Shannon has the potential to go even higher.
Yeah,
I think he does. He could be if he
Why
really
you say that?
Because he's polished. He doesn't. He can do any interview, but he has a way for him that I don't know if he has the Southern market loves him. Like we love him.
He's a Southern motherfucker.
Yeah,
East
we love
Coast,
him.
West Coast.
He can talk to most people. And Joe Rogan, he kind of just he has a wide range, but it's still like a little. There's a lane that he made for himself.
You know what I noticed about Shannon Sharpe though, which when we have guests on, he don't give an opinion.
Yeah, that's the main.
He
thing.
lets them guess.
Joe Rogan has opinions.
See, and when we get guests on, we're giving them the opinions.
Oh, y'all opinionated.
Yeah. Shannon, and I'm taking a page out of Shannon's shit because Shannon's like, word, why you say that?
That's the best.
What make you think of that? Yo, you really
I do that for the most part.
You really think them dudes feel that way about nigga? When we start talking, we'll be like, well, who? And then we giving them an example and a hypothetical and an assumption. Not no more, bro. It's sitting up here like, for real? You really think that?
That's standard interview 101 shit.
Well, I'm going to 101 because I don't have to give these niggas my knowledge.
Yeah, well, it depends. It depends on who you interviewing too.
That's what I'm talking about.
It depends.
I think each person it's a case by case. Certain people, I mean, I've gone through doing interviews with motherfuckers who can't talk, and that is just devastating.
You're pulling it. Yeah, you've been through it.
He has with who?
To pull shit out of niggas.
He's been fortunate. Not a lot,
but he's been through it.
I've been through it.
Not like how we been through it. He ain't been through that. But he would have looked and said, "My nigga." He would have paused the No, I remember when we went through it.
The whole show
He went through it.
That one interview we did.
I did more than one.
Oh, that one was crazy.
I did more than one. I did one when you wasn't there. Like, I did joints where we had paid joints. Recently,
I remember that.
A couple of them.
That's what I was referring to. I was like, "Yo, my nigga."
There's a motherfucker that was on my expert opinion with us and didn't talk and calling us talking about that he want to come on this show. I'm like, you don't talk. Why would you want to come on this show when we're gonna ask you questions, bro? I want to know what the fuck is going on and why the fuck you don't be talking. Why would you come fuck with me? You know what I'm saying? Because I'll just take over the whole show. When nigga don't want to talk, fuck it. It's our show, and this nigga's our guest.
Yes.